60 years ago, I survived a Chinese attack in North Korea. And as a result, I wrote a book that, having survived that I hadn't had a bad day since. Today I have to reassess that statement. Thank you.
It was 20-term Democratic Congressman Charlie Rangel of New York, the former chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, now faces the prospect of congressional ethics trial despite reported efforts to negotiate some kind of deal.
Rangel's attorneys have been meeting with Ethics Committee staff about a possible deal to avoid a full ethics trial.
We know that there have been talks between Charlie Rangel's lawyers and lawyers for the committee.
Lawyers for Rangel have been trying to cut a deal with congressional investigators, but time is running out.
Time ran out. This afternoon, the House Ethics Committee held a preliminary hearing and announced that the investigation is now in the trial phase and revealed the 13 charges against Congressman Rangel. He officially stands accused of using his office to raise money for an eponymous wing of a New York college, inappropriately using rent-controlled apartments, failing to disclose taxes on a Dominican Republic property, failing to disclose personal assets, and violating the ban on receiving gifts and soliciting donations. But what is at stake in this trial is not just the career and legacy of one of the longest-serving members of Congress, or the ability of the Democrats to keep the House in the midterm elections if the trial goes ahead, likely in September. What's at stake is the public trust in the ability of Congress to do the right thing. That trust is the foundation of the government's authority. And recent polling suggests that that trust is next to non-existent. Only 20% of those polled by NBC News and the Wall Street Journal last month approve of the job Congress is doing, while only 19% of those polled by the New York Times and CBS News approve. And only 9% of those polled think most members of Congress deserve to keep their jobs. Perhaps most revealing and most damning is a Gallup poll from a few weeks ago and asked people which institutions they have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in. Congress ranked last at just 11%. Even big business and HMOs ranked higher. A sorry state of affairs that is apparently not lost on the Ethics Committee.
Our obligation is to act fairly and without bias or partisanship. To do anything less would dishonor this House and would be a disservice to our country.
With only 11% of the public having a positive view of this institution, the pressure is even greater to ensure these proceedings are fair, open, and conducted in a strictly nonpartisan manner. In the mind of the American people, Congress has become completely self-serving and so tone-deaf its members somehow feel the rules just don't apply to them. We must regain the people's trust.
While alleged ethic violations are by no means the chief cause of Americans' lack of faith in Congress, they certainly don't help. So what's happening against the backdrop of Congress desperately needing to instill trust in the people? They're being totally transparent and apolitical and just doing the right thing by the folks who elected them, right? Well, the ethics panel is reportedly still considering the as-yet undisclosed deal with Congressman Rangel and will make a decision within days, though apparently without the congressman's lawyers.
It was my understanding that it's the Ethics Committee itself that's working without my lawyers' involvement.
The charges facing Congressman Rangel are serious. The committee should determine his guilt or innocence in a fair, impartial, and open proceeding, as the committee members pledged this afternoon, without any behind-closed-door deals. If they make a deal out of the public view, they risk achieving the unthinkable, making the future U.S. Congress even less trusted than the current U.S. Congress.